A big welcome to all of you. It is June 17th. It is the Wednesday Thrust, and we got some more FIFA World Cup action. Today is the last day of the first round of the group stage. So at the end of today, every team will have played one match, and then we're on to every team's second match starting tomorrow. What a day we had. We had 4 winners picked, and not just did all 4 of these teams win, but all 4 of these teams won by multiple goals, 2 or more goals. How about that for one? Absolutely, positively incredible. Started off with France. Senegal fought hard. We'll go through it right here. Senegal did fight hard. They did rescue a goal. They were able to at least make it somewhat interesting, but France is just too big of a team. That is what the whole world knows, everyone who watches soccer. Unbelievably, they only used 2 subs. They stuck to their guns with the starting lineup, but when Barcola came in, he scored. Michael Olise was such an incredible creator, but give it up to Kylian Mbappe. He now has 14 World Cup goals at the age of 27. He's not even done yet. What a game by Kylian Mbappe, and that third goal in the stoppage time, absolutely incredible strike. He dribbles to his left-hand side, and he was able to hit that far top corner, to his right-hand side, and he hit it to the top left corner. Absolutely incredible goal from Kylian Mbappe. As you look at the Senegalese lineup, solid, but not great. They had their moments. They had their goals. Guille, who scored again, he was the guy who scored in that African Cup of Nations final. He scored from long range, did an incredible job, but ultimately, it was Mbaye, not Guille, but still, Mbaye with a big goal. It was still a great match overall from their expectations, but wasn't going to be good enough to beat France. We go on to Norway, and the headliner, Erling Haaland, 2 big goals. What a job by Erling Haaland. We all waited to see him go to the World Cup. He is here, and he has arrived with 2 goals. Norway set the tone from start to finish. You can see the possession, 62% possession, 12 shots. Iraq had 11 shots, but only one of them was on target. Not much to trouble the goalkeeper, besides the fact that the one shot they did have on target was a goal by Hussein in the 39th. So it was 1-1 at a certain point. But by the time we got to the half, Norway got the goal back, got up 2-1, and they did not look back. Norway, an incredible performance all around. Great job by their midfield. They looked like a really cohesive team. And then you look at Iraq. Again, you didn't really expect much from them. Not great talent on this team, but they're a team that got in through the Intercontinental Playoffs. We're excited to see what they can do, see if they can get into the round of 32. Iraq will continue to fight hard in their upcoming matches. We get on to Argentina and Lionel Messi, the story of the match. A resounding hat trick to not only just score the hat trick, but at age 39, he now has 16 World Cup goals. That ties the all-time record with German player Miroslav Klose. So Lionel Messi and Miroslav Klose stand together as the leading scorers in the history of the World Cup. Now, like I mentioned, Kylian Mbappe has 14 goals. He's only 27 years old. He may just take the cake when it's all said and done. But for right now, Lionel Messi, not only did he tie the lead for the top scorers in World Cup history, but he officially became the first player to appear in 6 World Cups. Now, I talked about that with Guillermo Ochoa with Mexico. We hope that he eventually gets out there, gets his minutes so that he can play in his 6th World Cup. But it officially becomes Lionel Messi, the first to do it. Now, we'll talk about Cristiano Ronaldo later on. He is also bound to join him hours later. But Lionel Messi, the storyline, he took him a while to decide to play in this World Cup. But once he played, he delivered. He has arrived. What a game from Lionel Messi. He scores the 3 goals, 3-0 for Argentina. But interestingly enough, Algeria had the majority of possession. They really tried to slow down the game throughout, but ultimately they did not even have a shot on target. You can see the ratings here for Algeria, and you can see Algeria is just going to have to scuffle for answers if they want to make the round of 32. We go to Austria. I know I called them Australia in my short yesterday. I apologize, Eastern Europeans. Austria with a big win. They have great talent. They made it through Europe, and they played against a team that's solid enough in Asia, just a small country, not too great, but it was 1-1 at a certain point. Jordan did fight hard. You got to give credit to Jordan. Give credit to where credit is due, but it was easy to see that Austria would be too much for them. You know, at a certain point, I did get some Cape Verde vibes from them. I did get the fact that they were trying to hold up the best they could, but they still put up some good shots. You can see 11 shots, 4 shots. Overall, a lot of good things from Jordan in this match. They could easily be a candidate to make the round of 32. As you can see this lineup right here, their strikers really created some good chances for them. But let's get to today's matchups. Enough of yesterday. We had excitement yesterday. We have excitement today. As I speak right now, I am literally about a quarter mile from the Houston Stadium. They are going to play in 2 hours, 1 o'clock Eastern time, and it is Portugal against the DR Congo. What a match that's going to be. We'll talk about that. England onside Croatia. That is a heavyweight battle upstate in Dallas. Then we go on to Toronto, north of the border. We got Ghana. Ghana is expected to do some big things here in this World Cup, but we also got Panama. Let's see what we can see from Panama in this World Cup. Last but not least, we go south of the United States. We go to the Estadio Azteca, aka Mexico City Stadium, where we got Uzbekistan against Colombia. So we got some very interesting matchups here today. These are the picks for today. Taking these singles would turn $40 into $87.30, more than doubling the money. That being said, we got Portugal over the DR Congo, England and Croatia ending up in a draw, Ghana and Panama also ending up in a draw, and then Colombia taking the cake over Uzbekistan and Italian legend Fabio Cannavaro, who is their coach. This as a parlay is gonna more than 17x your money. I'm taking this, I'm putting $10 on this. I put $10 on the one yesterday. I 5x my money. Here with some more bolder picks, this will 17x your money if we keep the streak going. That being said, we go to Portugal. Same thing as usual, just showing their World Cup qualifying journey. They were able to dominate their group. They had Ireland and Hungary, 2 teams that are solid, but overall Portugal prevailed on top in their World Cup qualifying group. And this is what started to come out in the last World Cup. Last World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo came on in certain matches as a sub. You can tell that Portugal has really developed quality all over the pitch, and we expect more of that right here. And here we got Portugal with guys like Vitinha. Vitinha has won 2 straight Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain. Also alongside his guy João Neves. They all play together alongside Nuno Mendes. So we got 3 guys, 3 key players on this Paris Saint-Germain team alongside Ruben Diaz. He has been an absolutely wall-like defender on Manchester City. He has been absolutely incredible. Bruno Fernandes been with Manchester United about 8 years now. He's been doing absolutely wonderful job there. He's been a big part of their team in their 3rd place finish this year. He had a great season. We're expecting some good things. But obviously our headliner, just like we talked about with Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo is expected to be in his 6th World Cup and become just barely the 2nd player. Really, in all honesty, let's just be real. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo are the GOATs of this generation, and they shall jointly be considered the first to play in 6 World Cups. We go to the DR Congo, a very interesting journey through the the first round of African qualifying. They almost beat Senegal. They came so close to knocking off Senegal and making Senegal go through the playoffs. But ultimately, they had to go through the playoff. So there were 4 teams that were 2nd place in that first round group that went on to a 2nd round. We had Nigeria over Gabon. That was after extra time. Nigeria scoring 3 goals in the extra time. And then 1-0 win over Cameroon. Cameroon, also a perennial World Cup qualifier, wasn't able to make it. Nigeria too. This was also after extra time and penalty kicks. DR Congo advanced to the Intercontinental Playoffs over Nigeria on penalty kicks. So they took out 2 perennial qualifiers in Cameroon and Nigeria. Then you can see in the Intercontinental Playoffs, they met with Jamaica and they won 1-0 after extra time. So you can tell this DR Congo team is battle tested and they got what it takes. You can see some solid English League players, French League players, alongside a couple in the Saudi Arabian League. They got some really underrated talent. You cannot underrate what DR Congo is going to be able to do, but ultimately this Portugal team just going to be too much for them. But I do see them as a round of 32 team if they can really show up in their other matches. We go on to England. England dominated their group. They won all 8 matches, 2 against each of these teams. That included Albania and Serbia. Never thought that Albania and Serbia would be in the same group, but it's whatever. Albania was able to get to the playoffs, wasn't able to make it. And you look at the team, England, Harry Kane has had an incredible season for Bayern Munich. He's playing a lot of big matches. He is as battle-tested as you'll ever see him, especially making that transfer a couple years ago from Tottenham Hotspur to Bayern Munich. And also, the headliner, we got Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is someone who we expect to have a big impact. He's been with Real Madrid the last 3 years, alongside Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice, 2 Arsenal guys who just played in the Champions League final. As you can hear some fans outside the door, you love it. This right by the Houston Stadium, they're getting ready to play. Anyways, we go off to Croatia. Croatia dominated their group, 7 wins, 1 draw. They went unbeaten over a team that ended up qualifying, which was Czechia. You can see not big countries outside of that, but Croatia, very solid qualifying campaign. And you also see that they got Luka Modric, who would have been in his 6th World Cup if Croatia qualified back in 2010, which they did not. This will be Luka Modric's 5th World Cup, but keep in mind he debuted in 2006, as did Messi, Ronaldo, and Guillermo Ochoa. All these guys from 2006, they're back. Luka Modric is going to be a big leader for this Croatian team that has made it to 2 straight semifinals of the World Cup. You also got some other guys all across the pitch on big teams. This is how Croatia's been built. They get guys on big teams, but they play very well together. They're a cohesive unit. Expect them to stand tall. I'm expecting a draw here in this England and Croatia matchup. We go then to Ghana against Panama. Ghana was able to dominate their group against smaller countries. Madagascar, good effort from them. They're a little small island in the east of Africa, southeast of Africa. You look at the Ghana team, solid talent. Got Manchester City players. A guy doesn't play that much for Manchester City, but when he does, he's solid. Got, from the Athletic Club, he's Nico Williams' brother, so he's going to be a big player for them as well. You can see some solid English League, French League talent on this squad all across the park, including some central defenders that we expect to be leaders. However, Ghana is going up against Panama. Panama, again, with the luxury of not having USA, Canada, or Mexico in the qualifying, was able to get through easily in the 2nd round, and then they breezed through the 3rd round over Suriname, who made it to the playoff but did not make it to the World Cup to qualify for the World Cup. So Panama breezed their way to the World Cup. They looked really strong, but you can see not great quality for Panama, but I do think that they can hold up as a team. I am boldly predicting a draw in this matchup. Ghana is one of those teams, when they play well, but they can be reckless, they can be careless, they can be out of sync. I've seen both sides of Ghana. I think in this first match, they're going to really need this match to get into this World Cup. I think this Panama team could manage a draw. Now, I don't know much about these players, but Alberto Carrasquilla, he was a Houston Dynamo player a couple years ago. This guy I really enjoyed watching play here in Houston, so I'm going to be rooting for him in this one. We unfortunately do not have any current players on any World Cup rosters, but obviously I live in Houston, so I cheer for my team. That being said, we go to the last one. Uzbekistan against Colombia. Uzbekistan took the exact same path as Iran. They were drawn in the same group as Iran 2 times. They both were level in the points, dominating their first round group. This was their 2nd round group. And then in the 3rd round, Iran barely edged them, but Uzbekistan took the second qualifying spot from the group, and it ended up being Qatar in fourth place in this group, who ended up making it. UAE lost to Iraq for the spot in the intercontinental playoffs. That being said, Uzbekistan, they are coached by Italian legendary defender Fabio Cannavaro. If you do not know that name, look him up. He is a great defender, a great leader for Italy. They won the 2006 World Cup, and he is leading this Uzbekistan team, which has okay quality. I can see some big clubs here, but again, not expecting too much from this team, at least from the start. You go to Colombia, they were third place by goal difference in South America among those four teams. Obviously tying the goal difference with Uruguay, but scoring more goals here. Colombia brings back James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez is someone who's going to be a big leader for them. He's not on this list. He hasn't been doing great lately, but he is still a big hero in Colombia. He scored some big goals. Expect some fireworks from not just James Rodriguez, but you got Luis Diaz. He had a great season for Bayern Munich alongside guys like Harry Kane and Michael Olise. He was part of their attack. Expect him to be a key option in the attack. You can see some Portuguese league, English league, Spanish league guys, even a guy from Galatasaray. But again, what you look at, solid quality from Colombia. They've been great in the World Cup qualifying. They were also the runner-up in the Copa America a couple years ago. Copa America is the South American Championship tournament, which Argentina is the two-time defending champion for. They really took Argentina to the limit in the 2024 final of the Copa America. Expect some great things from Colombia in this World Cup. Expect Colombia to really set the tone against this Uzbekistan team. That is a wrap for today. We are back at it tomorrow. We got the second round of matchups going back to South Africa, Czechia, Mexico, and that group. But for now, enjoy the matches today as I'm enjoying the local hype here in Houston. Let's get after it. Let's launch with purpose.